Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Firstly, it is the middle of winter, and secondly, yes, this is a convertible. So yeah, when Mercedes-Benz called me up and they said, look Shane, we have the brand new CLE 300 4MATIC Cabriolet for you. Do you want it? I said, yeah, I'm just going to make sure I'll dress warm. So definitely speaking, this is by far one of the coolest cars I've ever driven. I've never driven a convertible. And what I will say is I get it now. I understand why people love to drive the roof down at pretty much any opportunity they get. So let's jump right in. If you don't know, the CLE only comes in a coupe, and that is primarily because the CLE was introduced into the Mercedes-Benz model lineup because it is replacing the C-Class Coupé and E-Class Coupé. So if you do follow me on social media, I have said that if you didn't know that, you live under a rock. But what I will say nonetheless is that this actually looks really good. It's really sleek, it's really stunning. I do actually like the general coupe, not the cabriolet as well. It looks beautiful. But even just driving this, it is a completely different sensation. I've driven a lot of coupes, but primarily being sports cars and supercars and stuff like that. But when it comes to a car like this, I get it now. It's a very different feel, it's a very different take. You do feel special driving this. Just the fact that it is a coupe. Also, please excuse the hat. I'm wearing it purely because I'm driving this. Nonetheless, I'm living the life and I'm really driving with the top down just about any opportunity I can get. So as we go to the wheels, we do have 20-inch rims on this. It looks phenomenal. The ride is still actually relatively comfortable. I will say it's actually very comfortable. But in terms of comfort, the inside is the place to be. But just before I get to the inside of the car, the front. So this is the Mercedes-Benz Panamericana grille. As well as we do have newly designed headlights. They're really nice. I love them quite a lot. Now, given I have seen the CLE 53 more than the general CLE 200 or 300, so when I saw these headlight designs again, I fell in love again. It's really something different. It's very aggressive, and the car itself sits quite wide and low on the ground. It has quite a street presence to it, even though this isn't an AMG model. Now, as we move towards the rear of the car, you will see it actually has one of the best views you could possibly ask for. It has a really nice bum, I will say that, and you have this newly designed taillight design. It's not a solid light bar, but it's still beautiful. I actually like it quite a lot. I think it looks better like this than if it were to be a solid light bar. Solid light bars are, look, they're a little bit, they're a bit overdone now, if I'm honest. I think they look perfect on Porsches and Audis. That's where they're really meant to be. But nonetheless, as I said, this is the CLE 300 4MATIC. 4MATIC meaning it is a permanent four-wheel drive system giving you the best traction possible. 300 means when you look at the engine. So let's go have a look. So powering the CLE 300 4MATIC is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with a single turbo. So it produces 190 kilowatts as well as 400 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 is just over 6 seconds. Some say it's 5.9, some say 6.2, so that's more or less what you could expect. As I said, this is not an AMG variant. The CLE 53 is capable of some pretty stratospheric numbers. This, however, is simply just about cruising along, enjoying yourself, and literally just living the life. Now, the interior of the CLE is nothing short of breathtaking. We have these really comfortable leather seats. Now, but not only are they comfortable, they're also capable of giving you a massage. They're heated and ventilated. And you also have the famous air scarf. So essentially what the air scarf does is that whether you have the top down or not, you can turn it on and it will simply blow hot air onto the back of your neck so that you just don't feel cold. So what I figured out is that if you have the roof down and you have the aircon on hot directed at your feet, you have your heated seat on and the air scarf, you pretty much don't feel the cold at all. Nothing. And that's very impressive. Now, in terms of the interior, another interesting thing that Mercedes-Benz have done is that because this is a cabriolet, and what does sometimes happen is that you do get a bit of a glare from the sun onto the entertainment screen. So you simply push this button and the screen will move forward. Now, this will eliminate the glare, and I did experience that yesterday, and this is actually extremely handy. So as well as in terms of creature comforts, we do have a Burmeister sound system, absolutely incredible. We have our iconic Mercedes-Benz steering wheel with the capacitive buttons. We have a beautiful display in front of me, as well as a heads-up display. Now, one thing I will say is that operating the roof is extremely convenient because you don't have to be stationary. You can operate the roof while traveling up to 60 kilometers per hour. I was literally doing about 55 and I was testing it out, and it works. And it's been extremely windy lately and it just works, no issue, no problem at all. Down over here, we do have space for 2 cups. We have a wireless charger. We have a couple of USB-C ports. We have our roof controls over here. We have further ports over here, a little glove compartment, and then your rear seats too. One thing I will say is that with these seats in particular, when you do spec your car, if you are going to spec one straight from factory to have it perfectly personalized to yourself, the seats, you can either opt for something called 4D sound or the massaging seats. The 4D sound is essentially Mercedes-Benz have placed subwoofers within the front seats themselves. It gives you one of the most insane aural experiences within a car. It almost feels like a massage depending on what song you're playing, depending on the volume level that you're playing the song at. But what I will say, for this car, it makes sense to have the massaging seats. I do think having the 4D sound might be a little bit rambunctious. It might be a little bit much, especially when you're driving around with the top down. This car gets so much attention as is. I don't think you need to be blasting music to get that extra bit more. However, it is, at the end of the day, just a completely different experience. I never thought I would love a convertible as much as I love this. So thank you very much to Mercedes-Benz South Africa for giving this me to test. And it is leaving in a couple of hours. I don't really want to give it back, but this car is absolutely phenomenal. So in terms of practicality, the boot space is a bit of a give and a take. If you want the top down, you have to sacrifice a little bit of space. But if you want to get the most in, keep the top up. Main reason being, this shelf has to be down because this stores and protects the roof from any of your luggage. But if you're going to have the roof up, you can simply place this away and maximize your boot space. But what I will say is, so this is my camera bag. If I put it down, it doesn't look like much, but you can still actually push it in quite deep. So you still do get the depth. You might not just have as much space up front. So I'm currently driving the CLE Cabriolet, and look, sound insulation is actually pretty great when the roof is up, not going to lie. I've heard that apparently if you sit at the passenger at the back, you do feel a little bit cold. Look, right now it is winter, so I'm not too sure what it's like at the back there. But apparently, you do feel the cold a little bit. Don't forget, this is a soft top still. But nonetheless, let me show you what it's like with the roof down. So what's beautiful about this roof is that you can operate it while traveling up to 60 kilometers an hour. That's absolutely ridiculous. So the fact that you can drive, lots of, like right now I'm busy pulling away at a robot, you can drive and still operate the roof. That is incredibly convenient. You don't have to stop somewhere. You can just do it while you're driving. But driving the CLE is absolutely nothing short of a dream. I mean, right now in front of me, I'm using the internal sat nav, which is incredibly good. It's the first time I've actually used it because I generally use Apple CarPlay. And right now with the heads up display, it's actually displaying the map and my route in front of me. And I've never seen that really before. It's so incredible. The fact that I can have my speed, the direction of travel, it's even showing me which lane to be in, as well as the map itself, how far, what time I'm going to get at my destination. It's quite thorough. So in terms of driving experience, throttle response is great. You do probably have about a couple of milliseconds of turbo lag. Don't forget, this is a turbocharged vehicle. But what I will say is this is actually also a 48 volt mild hybrid. So the hybrid system simply assists in terms of your low down torque, as well as the fact that when you do come to a stop and you have the auto stop on, the hybrid system will assist in keeping everything running smoothly, your aircon, your heated seats, and things like that. Also, when you are driving the highway and you are driving in economy mode and you start coasting, what does happen is the car will actually shut the engine down so that you can save some fuel. But as I was saying earlier, the trick I've figured out when driving this car in winter is the simple fact that you need to have the heated seats on the air scarf as well as the heater on by your feet, and then it's perfect. You've created a little bit of a hot air pocket within the cabin, even though the roof is open, and you can still enjoy the fact that you have fresh air, you can bask in the sun, and enjoy such an awesome driving experience while keeping warm. But like I mentioned earlier, this car is by far one of the most attention-grabbing cars I've ever driven. It's kind of insane. The only car I've ever driven that caught as much attention were the S63 SE Performance, as well as the Porsche 911 Carrera. I haven't been in anything else that has got as much attention as this. But yes, this is why wearing a hat comes in handy. You can still, enjoy the car, drive it. I never understood why I would see people with convertibles driving around in the middle of winter with the roof up, with the top down. I thought they were kind of blithering idiots. And now that I'm doing it myself, I kind of get it. It's a very nice atmosphere. It's a very different thing to experience. And I take back all of the harsh words I said about every single one of them. They're not blithering idiots. it's actually a really awesome experience. What I will say is that if you do want to buy the CLE, because it is a coupe, go for it. If you want a very different experience, if you are not bald, I'm going to say that because my father is bald and he hates convertibles, because obviously he always needs to have a hat with him or a beanie, because you know your head does get cold. Driving this is simply, it's sublime. It's another experience. It does handle incredibly well, I will say that. I've tackled a couple of corners on a scenic road close to the cradle of humankind, and it did pretty well. Look, this doesn't have rear wheel steering, but it's still handled incredibly well. So in terms of the drive, Mercedes-Benz, you have absolutely nailed this. Well done. And if you do just want something that screams luxury and life, this is it. I don't think you could get much better than this, especially for less than 2 million Rand. This car starts at about 1.5 million Rand. If you spec it well, it'll probably get to about 1.7. You need to have either the massaging seats or the 4D sound. I do think the massaging seats are one of those, especially for this. If you're not going for the Cabriolet, get the 4D sound. It's a must-have. Ambient lighting is a standard must-have, and it's actually relatively cheap. It's only about 6,500 Rand, actually 5,800 Rand, to have the ambient lighting as an option. You just have to have this car. You have to drive it. You have to experience it for yourself. But guys, thank you very much for watching. This is a phenomenal car. Thank you very much to Mercedes-Benz. So I do just want to say thank you for watching this video. If you have gotten this far, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. It goes a very long way. It allows me to get more awesome cars like this to test and show to you. Another thing is, if you don't follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you are missing out on so much. I post so much more content, a lot of short form stuff, a lot more raw and authentic stuff, and a lot of things you don't know about cars as per se that I wouldn't include in my YouTube videos. So what I will say is, please don't forget to also go down to my Instagram and TikTok links, hit that follow button. It makes a huge difference as well. But nonetheless, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, chat soon and drive safe.